over fake grass, plastic eggs, these things, chocolate bunnies, and people dressed as bunnies. And then there are the weird parts of Easter, like fake grass, plastic eggs, these things, chocolate bunnies, and people dressed as bunnies, which is interesting. But what does all this stuff have to do with Easter? And if this holiday is about more than candy and wearing uncomfortable clothes to church and lunch with your relatives, what makes Easter happy?
Hey, good morning everybody. Welcome to CSM Easter special. Not normally our normal time on Sundays at 5 p.m., but thank you for joining us anyways. If you're tuning in, if you still need a few seconds, grab what you need, grab your family, get them on here. We're going to have a message today. We're going to have some game time. We're going to have a couple of announcements. We're going to announce a winner here in just a second for the Recreate That Scene Challenge. So I wanted to jump in with just saying thank you so much for joining us. I know that when you're going through the world right now, you're seeing everybody out in the stores or the lack thereof. People look like they're avoiding each other like the plague, and I know that can all be kind of scary. I've seen a few people do one of these where they're like walking through. I'm not going to name who it was. They're walking through a Home Depot, and there's somebody that's definitely not within 6 or not outside of 6 feet, and they do one of these like they're trying to avoid a bee. It happens, and you're going to see a lot of that. And I kind of imagine Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs narrating the world right now. In a world ravaged by the overpurchasing of toilet paper. Like, I could just imagine that being a whole narration all the time. And that's kind of how I bring light to it. So find something that helps you bring light to this situation as we go through this pandemic crisis. But there is hope, and we're going to talk about that today. But we're going to start out with the Recreate That Scene Challenge winner. So to start with, the runner-up is Jasmine Stroop. All right, that was an awesome submission for the Titanic scene. I was wondering if somebody was going to do that. You did it. It was awesome. Be on the lookout for a text message from us to find a way to congratulate you for participating in that and being the runner-up. Now, the winner for the Recreate That Scene Challenge is none other than, I can't do a drum roll with my phone in my hand, Joseph Gill. Check it out. That is awesome. He got a prop in there. He's got the perfect angle. It's just a really good submission. So Joseph, thank you so much for tuning in and just submitting that awesome picture. For all of you that did submit, thank you so much. We're going to have more challenges like this. We would love as much participation as possible. You have the chance to win a great prize like Joseph did. He won a whole dinner for his entire family. So Joseph, be on the lookout for a text message from me to talk to you about that, about where your choices are and where you guys want to get your meal from. So really awesome stuff. We're going to have so many more things that we're going to be able to do. We have so many great ideas coming at us right now. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube. And also, if you have a TikTok, get on there and find us, CSM Yorktown, all right? So we have Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok now. So get on there, find us. We haven't submitted any videos on there yet, but we're going to try and come up with some cool stuff, some content for you guys. And lastly, there is, for an announcement, on Friday morning, I'm going to do just what we call Celebrate at Sunrise. So if you guys can be up at like 6:45, 7 in the morning, and you want to just tune in live on Instagram with me, I'm just going to get up there and say what's up. Maybe give you guys a quick verse that is pretty inspirational today. Might even go over the Bible app devotion that we sent out to all of you. So if you could join me on that, that'd be great. I know it's really early. You guys are on spring break, which congratulations for getting that time off. I've seen a lot of you put on, day 1 of spring break, day 2 of spring break. It kind of reminds me of like a little post-apocalyptic spring break submissions on Instagram, and I think that's really cool that you guys are doing that. So with that, we have our week 2 message for Happy Easter today. And I wanted to start out by saying Easter is such a weird, but also really cool holiday. It's so different than any other holiday that we get into. So it's actually, this might sound crazy, the complete opposite of Halloween. If you think about it, when you go to church or when you go to a family's house on Easter, you dress up in your best clothes rather than dressing up as a scary Halloween monster, right? Or in Halloween, you go from house to house, trick-or-treating, getting candy from people, when on Easter, an Easter bunny sneaks around your backyard and lays a bunch of eggs. I don't know how anatomically correct that is, but then you end up wake up in the morning and you got candy lying around. So it's completely different than what we normally do for like some other holiday like Halloween. And there's also a different aspect of this. You know, you got the Peeps, candy, the Reese's eggs, which we all said was the best, the pastel colors, which I don't look good in, kind of looks like the stuff behind me. And Easter is just a really fun, lighthearted holiday. And then we get into the church aspect of it. All right, when you go to church, all of a sudden, Easter doesn't sound all that happy when we start talking about the details of it, right? When you start talking about the details, we learn about the cross, murder, blood, torture, death, sin, and the grave. And we talk about some pretty dark stuff, which can make you wonder, is Easter really a happy holiday? So last week we began talking about reality that Easter and like why we consider it a holiday. It's a time of celebration, but why? It sounds weird, especially when we talk about these things of sin and death and torture. The whole story is pretty tough to hear when we really think about it. Jesus' suffering on the cross is a picture of how devastating sin can be. His death and resurrection showed us not only his love for us, but his power over sin and death. And that's why Easter is a good thing. And we're going to talk about that. And maybe for you, the word sin is kind of a weird, churchy, not fun term. So how do we define sin? What do we look at? What is sin to us when we hear that word? And let's start off by saying this. Sin is any way of life that God doesn't want us to do, or any action that God doesn't want us to do. It's any way of life that he has not intended for us, right? So it's things like lying, cheating, stealing, murdering, not seeing ourselves the way that God sees us. These are all sin. But we can just stop for a second and consider this. How did we get to this point? Before we go to that though, is sin really that big of a deal? That's another thing that people ask. Maybe you've asked yourself that. Sure, murder, okay, yeah, we can all agree. That's bad. We probably shouldn't have to worry about that being a sin because it's just bad no matter what. Stealing, okay. I know some of you have somebody's Netflix account. I do too. Now, I got mine with permission later, but I definitely have my sister-in-law's Netflix account. Still a sin. Not really. Lying or cheating on a test. Yeah, these things can all be considered sin. Now, that sounds extreme. It really does. But here's where the truth of this comes in, all right? Paul, who we talked about last week, wrote many of the letters in the Bible. Like, he's just so well known as the greatest missionary. His word is known throughout the world. And in the letter that he wrote to the Christians in ancient Rome, he talked about the effects of sin. And here it is. Romans 6:23. We're going to focus on the first part of this. For the wages of sin is death. And we'll get to the second part of this in a second. Well, this isn't exactly the happy Easter vibe we're looking for, is it? But it does show us why God seems to care so much about our sin. Sin is a big deal to God because it brings death. It's the thing that got us out of the garden. It's the thing that got us here. And it's also the thing that it made him have a plan to redeem us. And we'll talk about that as well. Now, I get that this sounds a little strange that sin equals death, right? But consider this. You gossip about a friend in school, and they find out, and it kills your relationship. You cheat on a test, and then your grade and your hopes for getting a good grade die. You lie to your parents, and your trust that they have for you goes away. You have a casual sex encounter, and now your self-worth and the worth that you have for others changes or disappears. Sin always brings death to its surroundings. And this is why God is so passionate about sin and helping us get away from it. So, it brings death to all of our surroundings, to friendships, dreams, trust, self-worth, health, all of it. I think often God says to stay away from stuff because it will bring death, and he knows that. That's why he tells us this stuff. It's not just because he wants to put rules on us. It's because he wants us to not be consumed by death. And sin doesn't just bring death to something, it also brings death to someone. Your death, or your sin, can bring death to somebody else. Maybe it's just the death in your relationship. Like I said, you no longer get to talk to that friend because they don't want to talk to you anymore. Now your friendship is killed. It's gone. It's dead. All right? And before we know it, we wind up in a place in life that we never intended to be. It's like the part of us is dying, and the part of us that is created to be alive is dying, and something is missing in our souls when sin takes root in our lives. And the problem isn't just an issue for us in our generation. This has been true from the beginning of humanity. Adam and Eve, they started it out. They didn't necessarily commit the first sin, we won't say that, but they committed a sin that lost our relationship with God for a while, and we ended up cast out from the garden, right? We're not walking with him physically like we were in the garden, like he intended us to, because of sin. So, he says the wages of sin is death. Wages is the same word as paycheck, all right? It just means that you get what you get in return, all right? So when I go to work and I get paid, that's my wage. What are my hourly wages, what my yearly wages, whatever. That's a wage. It's your paycheck. So when you sin, your payment is death. But then God had a plan to save us all from sin, to pay the debt that we created with our sin, to pay and take place of the wage of death. And his name was Jesus. His one and only Son would come down. He would send him to earth to live a perfect life. That's the key part here. There is nobody that's done it except for Jesus. He lived a perfect, sinless life. And yet he paid the wages for all of us. He died on the cross for us. And that's so insane and intense to me. That's an intense love that God must have been willing to give his one and only perfect Son, the Son that lived the life that he wants all of us to live. And he let him pay the price for us not living that life. So, let me get there. So, he took the wages of the death that we earned. That's intense. That's wild. But that was the plan from the beginning. So, take a look at how Paul finishes this statement. The verse. Romans 6:23. For the wages of sin is death, but the free gift of God is eternal life through Christ Jesus our Lord. This is what makes Easter so happy. All the talk of blood, suffering, and the cross, that's not the end of the story. The Easter story isn't about death. It's about life and the new life that Jesus gave us the opportunity to have. He died on the cross for us, but more importantly, he rose from the dead to show us that even when death has taken hold of our lives, he's already paid the price for that death. Through him, we have new life, new resurrection, a new beginning to live the life that God intended us to live. So why is Easter so happy? Because of that. Because we have the chance to remember every Easter that this is the time that Jesus died for us, so we could give him a part of our life, or all of our life, that lets us have a new beginning. We can take a new step in a new direction and just change everything and start over. It's a start over. It's a restart. It's a new birth. Easter means new life is possible. When the resurrection happened, Jesus showed us that instead of living in hopeless sin, because of him, we can have a fresh start. What's amazing about this is when you have a relationship with God, he begins the work raising the dead things back to life. So those examples that I gave earlier about your friends and trust and sexual encounters and your parents and cheating on a test, He can bring your relationships back to life. He can bring your self-worth back to life. He can bring your dreams back to life. And he can bring your sense of purpose back to life. And he can bring joy back to your life. You just have to let him. So, and how do we let him? How do we let him know? You have to ask yourself a question. What is one area of your life that you need renewed? Now, that's a question that you have to ask. And when you dig down deep and you find that part of your life, when you find that friendship, when you find that motivation that is dead in your life right now, you need to do something. You need to give it to God. So we're going to talk about that. Maybe it's time that you trade your life for his life. You give him the dead life that you're living now. And in return, accept the gift that's already been given to you. Accept the gift of Jesus dying on the cross and giving you a chance at a new life. So maybe you need to ask God that question. Maybe you need to ask him, God, where is this part of my life that's dead right now? Open my eyes to that. And then when you find it, when he tells you, when he shows you, or when you figure it out, you need to raise that up to him and say, yes, you know what? Jesus, Lord, my trust in my parents is shot. It's gone. I need that renewed. I need to give that to you, and I trust you to fix that, to help me live a new life, to earn that trust back, and to build that relationship back with my parents, or with my friend, or with my sibling, or whatever is in your life that needs trust and needs God to take control of. If there are any decisions that you make today, I encourage and invite you to share it with us. Share it with your small group leader. We have all these great questions that your small group leaders are going to be able to ask you and talk to you about that are going to help you make this decision to renew your life and take it in a new direction. And it's all wrapped around Jesus. All right, it's all encompassed by him. Everything that you need to change your life from sin and death to life and living in God is through him. So ask your small group leader about how to do that. But start with the question, what part of my life needs new beginning? What part of my life needs a new restart? So that's what we're going to talk about. That's what we're going to encourage you with this week. The Bible app devotion that we have, it's all in there talking about how to do this, how you're going to renew your life. Where is all your trust? Where is this new beginning for you? And it's with God, it's with Jesus, but you need to figure out what part of your life needs renewing. Start with just one part. Just start with one. So that's why Easter is happy. All right? That's why Easter is a happy holiday. And with that, I'm going to do something that might make you guys a little happy. I don't look forward to it. But Amber's going to come and join us over here. I have my trash can.
Hi, guys.
Amber, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I brought my peeps with me.
Oh, you got your peeps with.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we have our peeps live with us as well.
And live, yes.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
So, what do you have for me?
Well, these are some peeps, and they're all different flavors.
Okay.
I thought maybe we could do something like Hogwarts and the Birdie Bots. Like you could just pick one and figure out if it's gonna be one or the other.
Okay. So
what color strikes your imagination?
I'm gonna start by saying I don't like these.
It's marshmallows.
It's marshmallows, yes, but it's got the glitter on the outside. It's awful.
It's
I
sugar.
just touched my
It's
face.
not glitter.
Oh, okay. Well, the red ones look pretty cool.
Okay.
I think.
So you can pick one of them, and I'll tell you it's going to be one or the other flavor.
Oh, you'll tell me which one, and then I gotta guess.
Yeah, and then you have to guess, like Hogwarts.
Why am I always
like
attracted
the
to
Birdie
color
Bots.
red? Okay, I'm gonna go with the one closest
This
to you.
one?
Yep,
okay,
I'm gonna grab that
so
one.
it's either going to be fruit punch or hot tamales. Which one do you think it is? Hot tamales.
Hot tamales. I don't like hot tamales.
Okay, hot tamales. Here it goes.
I like hot stuff, but I don't like hot
Yeah.
tamales.
Well, hot tamales is like a fireball in your mouth.
I need some encouragement, guys. Get on there.
You get
Tell
on
me to
there.
do it.
Come on, do it. You want me to do the other red one?
Yeah, do it.
Okay. So this would be fruit punch, and that's hot tamale. Ready?
Okay, yeah.
Go.
Oh.
Stop it, Jose.
Oh, it's popcorn.
We got a trash can. I feel like we're playing Chubby Bunny. Alright, I got the fruit punch. I'm fine.
No. No,
Okay,
no, ma'am.
let's try
No,
these.
ma'am.
Let's try these brown ones. Pick this one.
I want that one.
Oh, this one?
Yeah. Are you telling me to pick that one for
Yeah,
a
I'm
reason?
telling you to. I don't want that one.
She doesn't want this one. Thanks. You know which one it is.
We'll do the last one.
Oh.
This is either gonna be root beer or pancake and maple syrup.
I think that's pancake and maple syrup. I think
Yeah,
I
baby. Ah.
that's
It is, and it's real gross. I just put it in, took it out. Ugh.
All
All right, guys.
Root beer is so fake.
I know.
It's so fake. I love root beer.
That
It's
one tasted
awful.
really fake too. Okay,
Oh,
guys.
that's awful.
Listen, if you haven't gone out shopping or ready for Sunday for church, we are doing a peep game there. So you're gonna need some peeps as well. All right. What else we got? Oh, we got another game. You guys want to play another game with us? We're gonna make it quick. It's called Doubt It, and it's an Easter version. Easter edition of Doubt It. So what you're going to do is just play along. You can add a comment or not. It says decide whether the following statements about Easter are going to be true or false. And if you think it's false, say doubt it. Put it on the comments. Doubt it. If you think it's true, then just write true. So here we go. Question number 1 says, pretzels were once associated with Easter because the twists of the pretzel were thought to resemble arms crossing in prayer. True or false? The answer is true. If you said doubt it, you'd be wrong. It is very true, which I thought was very interesting. Okay, the most popular Easter candy is Peeps. Is that a true statement or a false statement? I'm really hoping it's Easter eggs,
it's
like Easter.
The Easter Reese's eggs?
Reese's eggs, 'cause
doubt
those
it.
were horrible.
I'm saying doubt it, because that's disgusting.
And the answer is doubt it. America buys more than 700 million Peeps a year, but it's still second to chocolate.
Let's be honest. All they do is stick them in microwaves to see how big they get.
Exactly. All right, next question. The White House Easter egg hunt was started by Franklin Delano Roosevelt in 1940. True or doubted?
I'm going to say true.
All right, Dylan says true.
It's very specific.
It's very specific. I'm going to go with true also. Is it true? Doubt it. This tradition was started by President Rutherford B. Hayes in 1878.
Oh.
Gosh, now I feel old. Okay. All right. Americans consume 16 million jelly beans on Easter.
I think it's more.
Yeah, I do too.
If we buy 700 million Peeps.
Right. I'm going to say doubt it.
Yeah. It's got to be more. What? It's got to be more than that.
We suck at this.
Wow.
I mean, we're not good at this. We're not good at this. Okay, next thing. Easter is the biggest candy consuming holiday. I'm going to go doubt it.
I'm going to say doubt it.
I think it's going to
I
be.
think it's Halloween.
Ooh, I thought Christmas. Okay, doubt it.
Oh, Christmas is multiple.
Easter is second to Halloween in candy consumption. Good job, Dylan. Whoop, whoop. Okay, next one. Most people eat the ears of chocolate bunnies first.
Absolutely.
Oh, true. Absolutely. If not that, the tail.
Because if you eat if you eat the foot first, then you're ruining the rabbit's foot at the end.
Right.
Good luck
Okay,
thing.
so true. Yep. Good job.
Yeah. All right.
All right, next one. Christians consider Easter eggs to symbolize joy and celebration, new life, and resurrection. Do we?
I mean, if you think
That's
about
a
it,
lot
like
in one
Jesus
Easter egg.
was hidden from us.
In the resurrection. Yeah,
You got the
true.
resurrection eggs
Good call.
that we use.
Let's say true. Oh, wow. Look at that.
Look at that.
That's a lot in one Easter egg. I just don't think that.
I learned
guess.
about the resurrection eggs this week.
Oh, yeah,
for
now you have a
kidney
baby.
and
You
stuff.
gotta know about the Easter.
So we're trying to figure out what we need to do.
Easter is the oldest Christian holiday. I don't know.
I don't know.
Christian.
Christian. Oh, I'm thinking.
Christian.
Biblical.
True,
Yeah.
true.
Okay, true.
Because today is actually Passover.
Right.
Happy Passover.
Thank you.
You're
yeah,
welcome.
Happy Passover.
I know. I wanted to talk about that a little bit, but anyway, go ahead.
We can.
Keep moving on. The Easter Bunny originated in Scotland. I just had an accent right there.
It's Scotland.
Scotland.
It's Scotland.
I said Scotland.
Wait, where's Easter Island? Where's
Scotland.
Stony Island?
I don't know.
Whatever it is.
I'm gonna say yes. True.
What is? Jake's over here laughing. What is it? What's it
True.
called?
True. Just say true. Doubt it. Doubt it. The Easter Bunny originated in Germany.
Okay, but wait, where's the island that I'm thinking of with the stones faces?
I
Ireland.
I learned about this.
I'm
Yeah,
awful
I'm
with
trying to think
geography.
of what it's called.
Let's move along, guys.
Well, I gotta figure this out.
Oh, Jake wants to find out
Can we
where
ask the next question though while you figure it out?
It's in Chile.
it's in Chile.
Yeah.
What is it called?
Oh.
Easter Island.
Is it really Easter Island? I got it.
The
right.
original Easter egg hunt involved hunting for ostrich eggs in the desert
Well, if it originated
in Germany.
well, that's the bunny.
The bunny.
But so where did the Easter egg hunt originate? That's a good question.
In the Middle East, because it's the oldest Christian holiday.
Okay, I'm gonna say true. Why not?
Easter egg hunts began in
They
Germany.
begin in Germany too.
Oh, jeez.
Has nothing to do with.
Those Germans, they got it down. And that's it.
That's
We're
it?
done
All right.
with questions. Okay.
Oh, man.
So we're coming back.
Okay.
This is great. If you didn't know, today is the beginning of Passover. Today is
Yeah.
Passover Wednesday.
So get ready to
And
go.
it's kind of interesting all that you talked about.
Yeah.
In light of what this holiday leading up to Easter is really all about. And if you don't know a lot about what the Bible says in the Old Testament, there were God's people called the Israelites, and God redeemed them out of slavery by having Egypt go through a good number of plagues,
Yeah.
10 to be exact.
Yeah.
And rescued them out of that and freed them. And it's very, very it's very much like what we as Christians believe Jesus did for us, that he redeemed us, he bought us, took us out of the slavery of sin. And so everything you said today really pointed to what Passover is all about. And if you don't know anything about Passover, you want to know about Passover, Becca and Dylan are great.
Yeah.
I can answer a lot of questions about that too. So,
that's my favorite
anyway,
sermon to do.
Yeah, I
The Seder.
love me some Passover. So, and anything in the Old Testament, really,
Right.
to be quite honest.
It's good stuff,
All right.
especially when you read it from a New Testament perspective. So.
Exactly. Do we have anything else for today? We have some announcements.
Well, I was trying to get a hold of Joseph because apparently
Yeah.
the high school guys didn't log on. They thought that I was talking about 6 o'clock tonight for live. It's not.
Gotcha.
That's for Zoom.
That's for Zoom.
And I just had to tell them that. So if anybody sees Joseph on the comments right now, tell him that he won the Recreate That Scene Challenge, because
We
I
did.
don't know if you got that. Zoom chats tonight. I sent that email out to the parents and to the leaders with the links. So you guys can all chat in on that. The Sherry and Trevor's group are recurring. So if you guys ever need to find those links again, they're going to use the same links every time.
Yep.
Friday night quarantine
Whitney.
time with Whitney. Yep, she's going to lead us in another devotion. Again, I'm going to try and do that Celebrate at Sunrise. I doubt any of you will be up, but prove me wrong.
I will be up.
Oh, she'll be up. Prove me
I'll
wrong.
be up.
All right.
Also, too, if you have any ideas for TikTok for us to, appropriate TikTok videos, send them our way. We're
Yeah.
gonna start. We're gonna do some TikToking.
Inappropriate submissions of any kind will not be associated with MTV or CSM. I was doing
Oh, gosh.
ridiculousness.
All right, guys. Have a great day. Enjoy.
Oh, wait. Last thing. No CSM Live at 5 on Sunday.
No
That's
live
it.
at 5 on Sunday.
So enjoy your Easter with your families. Tune in
At 10:30.
at 10:30 on Sunday morning
We
for
got
the
this.
Easter pre-show for some fun games. So
Yeah.
we'll see you then. Happy
Bye.
Easter.